Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about marketing career and transitioning into marketing. Last week I had a live session with Elif who's a marketing expert. She's currently a professor in Canada, and we had a really nice long session about it. I will leave the link down below so you can access the full version. But today I just want to give you a quick heads up and a summary of it. So we had a lot of questions about how do you enter marketing field, or how do you transition, how do you become if you studied another field. The truth is, not for any field you don't really have to study that, but it's all about learning. It's like a constant learning journey. Think of it that way. I studied MBA and I got interested into marketing. I didn't know where to start, and I just started with research. I think that's like the key to it. Sometimes I think what's difficult for people is they don't know how to do the right research. They don't know what to look for. One of my friends even mentioned marketing as like an ocean full of information, and she doesn't really know where to go with it, where to begin. So yes, it is difficult, but you just need to do the right research. For example, start with a marketing career, like what kind of jobs are out there about this field. If you find it, for example, for content marketer or social media manager, go on LinkedIn, see what kind of jobs are posted, see what kind of skills are they requiring, and see if you meet any of them or what you can do to meet the requirements. I think that was one way for me to figure out what to study or like how to get into this field. Another thing is start with free online courses. One of my favorites is Google Digital Garage Fundamentals of Digital Marketing. And I took the course. It has some quizzes, it has some really nice videos, examples. So take that, take some time off, learn, see what kind of tools are used in marketing field, see if you can learn about it, if you understand it, if you want to understand it. So take that as something like to experiment with. Another course I'd suggest, HubSpot Academy. Definitely one of my favorite. It has so many free online courses. I took their content marketing course and it was amazing. I learned a lot from the examples, from the quizzes, the assignments. So take that. Third course that I took after these free, it was a Udemy course. It was on growth hacking with digital marketing. That one was paid, but it was definitely like one of the courses that gave a lot of detail. It gave some assignments and it really challenged me to dig into it. Sometimes it was really hard to understand because it seemed so confusing to me, but going back and then like reaching out to people just made it much more easier. But these are like great as a start to begin with. Other than that, I would definitely suggest you to read some books. Like one of my favorite books is by Seth Godin. This is Marketing. It has a very different approach to marketing and I really love it. I love the psychology behind it. I love how different examples are given to us. So read into that. So another thing I would suggest you is to check into case studies. I think those are some of my favorite. They give you like introduction and some insight and some real life examples. Like you can check, for example, marketing strategies of Turkish Airlines or marketing strategies of Coca-Cola, which by the way, that was like my thesis topic and it was beautiful. I loved learning about it. So you can do some research into it and see if it gets you. That's like where I got most interested about. And that's about it on my side, and the rest you can watch on Elif's page. She has some really good examples on content marketing, courses you can take, jobs that are out there, or remote work with marketing. So, and check out her channel. You can also access the full version of our Instagram live that we had like a week ago. So if you have any more questions about it or details other than the ones that I mentioned, please ask them and I'll try to answer them on the upcoming videos.
I'm gonna try again. Hold on. I got this.
It's so strange that I've been using this platform for so many years, and this is the first time I'm doing an IG live. And like even my husband did it many times.
More than you.
For some reason, I don't know why I never tried it, but
well, you have YouTube, so
there's a first to everything.
That's true.
How are you doing?
Good, good, thanks. Yeah, it's like already 9 p.m. here in Istanbul. I think it's like noon, right, in Canada?
Yeah, it's 2 p.m. and I kicked out Barış and Nada so I could actually get this place to myself.
That'll be great.
We'll see as it goes.
Wonderful. Well, to begin with, then I'd like you actually to introduce yourself. You have a really interesting background and really different, a lot of experiences. But to start with, I just want to say that I got to know Elif through social media, actually from her work on marketing, from her YouTube videos on digital marketing. I actually got to hear her experiences about her job experiences, education, what she had to say, and like all these courses you can take. And during this time, she'll give you guys information about it as well. But I want you to give a quick introduction so people get to know you.
Yeah, whenever I start introducing myself, it turns into this very long story because I have like a variety of things that happened in my, in the past. But to, make it short, I'm from Turkey. I lived there for 18 years, then moved to Canada for university, which is a question that everyone asks me. That's why I want to mention that, because I always keep getting questions like, what is your connection to Canada? So that's where my story in Canada started, in university. Then I went back to Turkey. I had studied political science and economics, but I never actually practiced my undergraduate degree, which is, again, something that a lot of people ask me because they think that you kind of need to, your profession needs to be directly related to what you study in university. And for me, and for most people that I know, it hasn't been the case. So when I went to Turkey, like my goal was like to get a corporate, like a good job in one of the big corporates companies in Turkey. So that's what I did. And a few years later, I noticed, like, I realized that it's not for me. That's not what I want to do. I had this like entrepreneurial spirit in me, and I was always seeking for more. So I started an MBA degree because I wanted to explore the business world a bit more and to to figure out what it is that I like within business. And the outcome of that MBA was that I really, really like one, entrepreneurship, like startup world, and the other is I'm really, really passionate about marketing. So I did a graduation project that was specifically on content marketing, which wasn't a big thing then. Mm-hmm. So that kind of helped me to transition into that industry. I got a good job, actually, which was a surprising one because I wasn't experienced in marketing at all, in a technology company, in a startup company. And that was actually my first ever experience within marketing. Then it kind of evolved into many other things. Like I discovered remote working because Istanbul is a chaos if you commute to work and back, and that was the case for me. So I kept looking for different opportunities and options that would help me be more happy, I guess, with whatever I was doing. So I looked for jobs that were, not in the city. Like I wanted to work. I actually didn't explore the idea of freelancing and contracting. I didn't know of different work structures then. But a project came up, and then that kind of introduced me to the idea of remote working, and that I did not actually have to commute to an office. I didn't have to work with a company that's in the same city as that as I was living in. And now I know that that idea seems very familiar because that's what everyone is doing.
Yeah,
but back then, like this was 2014, 15, it really was a strange idea. Like people thought that I wasn't working when I was at home. They thought I was, just, binge watching on shows and stuff like that. So that kind of opened a new perspective into my work experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started working with a like what is it called, like remote first marketing agency that was headquartered in Europe, but we had operations everywhere, like in you know, from Argentina to Singapore. So I traveled a lot. That was a very, very great experience for me, which then led to another great marketing agency experience, which was based out of North America, because I wanted to. So I started with Europe and Asia, and then I knew that I wanted to move to North America at one point. So I targeted companies that were in North America, so I could get a, you know, a glimpse into that culture and learn how marketing is done with North American companies. So that's what I did. Like, I kind of had a strategy with all of that, but like not 100% intentional with every step, but I did have a strategy behind it, at least in terms of like where I wanted to go and how I wanted the specialization to evolve. And you know, while all of this transition was happening, I specifically focused on inbound marketing and HubSpot, which is one of my love brands, which I love talking about, like in my classes at, you know, George Brown here, and I also talk about it a lot on YouTube as well. So yeah, that's definitely one of my love brands, and I kind of became like a HubSpot platform expert in a way. So those were two like qualities among all of the other things that I've experienced in marketing that kind of raised the bar for me, and that kind of helped me to be known for those things. And yeah, those are like my work type of experiences. And then like 1.5 years ago, we moved to Canada, which then I transitioned into a Toronto-based marketing agency. So my background is like more so focused on agencies, but the industries I've worked with are more IT, software, technology industries, basically. And yeah, like I as I said, this is already becoming a long story. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask these days, like, do I need to study? Do I need to study marketing? Do I need to go to university? Do I need to do a postgraduate degree in marketing to change my field? And I always say no. And I even have a video on like this specific topic, but I don't think you need a degree per se to actually do this profession. But you still need to obviously have a lot of experience to, you know, get somewhere that you dream of. So yeah, that's why I have a variety of things going on. And over the past year, as you also know, like I've been more focused on YouTube content creation, which had started as an experiment for me. I just wanted to learn what video content is and what the hype about video marketing is. So that's why I got into YouTube, because I thought that, you know, since I'm in this I'm an inbound marketer, I'm, you know, working with content creators, I need to know how video works. So that's why I got into it. And yeah, right now I guess I could call myself kind of YouTuber / marketing professor. So that, you know, again, like my career has evolved, but that's what is happening today.
Yeah. You're also teaching marketing to students.
Yeah. This semester I'm not teaching just because of this COVID situation.
Yeah.
Like things got very complex. We unfortunately don't have a nanny anymore that is available to come to our house, or we don't have, you know, daycare that I can send Ada to. So it's just, you know, me, and my husband also has a full-time job, so I'm not doing teaching this semester, but I did want to. So maybe I will hopefully get back to it in the fall semester.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's a pretty cool one. I've been following up, so that's why I know so much about the marketing background of Elif.
Yeah.
So we were talking about like transitioning to marketing field for someone who has never learned or done anything. Where can you suggest them? Like, where can these people start? How can they do the transition if they're interested in digital marketing? Because there's so many sources out there. I had a lot of people asking me where, like, which courses they can take, for example. Yeah. One of mine, for example, the one where I decided to actually test myself to see if I really like the field, was from Google Digital Marketing. It's free to begin with.
I mean, that's great.
Basic.
That's a great suggestion. That's a great place to start. Google and most of the marketing related softwares, they actually have courses. They actually have free and, you know, free and very like easily consumable, easily understandable marketing education for beginners. So I would suggest to start with those and kind of figure out if it's something that you actually like, because I know that like a lot of people reach out to me saying that they're interested in marketing, but I realize after a little bit of conversation that they have not really explored what the field is about, and it's just something they hear. And also there's also a big misperception about what marketing is as well, because in the late years, like I see a new term that is, you know, kind of being articulated, which is online marketing, which is actually something different than what you do in like B2B industries, that which is what I've primarily worked with. So they mainly talk about like, you know, drop shipping, e-commerce, or like online education. That is also sometimes referred to as online marketing as well. Like even having the personal brand on social media channels, that is also called online marketing. So just I think the first step to begin like anything, if you think you are interested in marketing, is to basically find out what it is that you like about marketing. What does, you know, what is traditional marketing? Because people also still ask me about traditional marketing versus digital. I don't think you can really distinguish between them anymore. And I kind of feel like everything is digital these days. Like, how can you ignore digital and just, you know, say that you want to go with traditional?
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's not even an option. But anyway, like there is a lot of concepts and terminology around marketing that I think needs to be clarified first. And also understanding that it applies to different industries and it means very different things. Like the way you execute marketing in different industries is completely different. So for anyone who is a beginner and who thinks they want to explore more, before, you know, starting your job application process or before starting any training that you know, pay a lot of money for, read about the topic and try to figure out, like pinpoint what are the specific things about marketing that you want. Some people actually want to switch to marketing because they think it pays really well. Like, so, you know, have a solid reason before you actually invest into an education with marketing is what I always suggest. And like some people ask me, you know, is this certification good? Like, should I invest into this or should I invest into a postgraduate degree? And sorry about the ambulance.
I thought that was mine. I thought I was here. I was like,
we live very close to the fire station, so there's always like fire trucks and ambulances. Yeah, so I, you know, before investing that money, make sure that your reason to switch to marketing, like you already have that reason.
Yeah.
And make sure it's a solid one, because you don't want to get disappointed after you know, make that investment.
Yeah, actually, I also noticed like there's so many courses from Coursera, EDX. I'm not sure for marketing, but a lot of really expensive ones as well.
Yeah.
Like master's level kind of. But what I think before getting there, as you said, you need to explore. You need to figure out if this is what you're really interested in. That's why years ago, I think it was like 2-3 years ago, when I decided this is what I really want, I went with the free course, basic, super easy to understand, and it gives you a general idea. And that was from Google's digital marketing. And while I was exploring, that's when I came across your YouTube page, YouTube videos. Then I'm like, okay, what does she have to say? And then you had like a video about these courses you can take from HubSpot, which you can also talk about later.
Yeah, I mean, like I refer to HubSpot like the marketing Bible, but they are truly an amazing source and it's free. So like for anyone who says is interested in marketing, read all of this, you know, the information that HubSpot has, look at their courses, take the courses. You don't even have to finish the course like until the end.
At least you get some ideas, some feeling that you want to finish it or not.
I mean, there's like, first of all, start with the free like free sources, free information
Absolutely.
that's available. And there's a lot of free information available, like on YouTube, on, again, like as I mentioned in the beginning, but like all of the marketing softwares, they have free information. Like their blogs are super good these days. They mostly have trainings about their software, but also the field that they work in. Like, for example, I know that I think Buffer has this type of education, Hootsuite as well. So
Yeah.
they're like two softwares that are focused on social media primarily, and I know they have like free education. So, you know, go for those first. Make sure that it's something that interests you, that you want to further explore and invest into, and then put that investment, I think.
So what can you suggest you wish you knew when you were starting this?
One thing that I've actually, like, it's not new to me, but one thing that I've lately been thinking a lot about is how late I was in terms of thinking of myself and my like resume as my personal brand. That idea came to me very, very late in my career, and I wish, like, even as of university, and that's like my brother is actually currently in university. He is like in first, like he just finished first year in university. I already started to recommend this to him. But like, think of yourself as a brand from the beginning, and always try to, you know, build up to that, and make sure that, like, if you're in marketing, I'm gonna, you know, specifically talking about marketing, like if you're into social media, for example, make sure that you have presence across social media channels. And it doesn't mean that you have to, you know, be an influencer, you have to be active on social media all the time, but make sure you experiment with the platforms. Make sure if someone, like, and I, this is also another thing that I always say, but like one of the first things we do once we hear someone's name these days is Google them, and we try to find out information about them on all of the digital platforms that we have access to. So whenever your name comes up, you know, think of yourself as a brand, and make sure you kind of put the blogs that you do, you know, over the years, and just build it as a brand for yourself. That's one thing that I wish I had done like much earlier. Nowadays I think of it like that, but if you start early, that's just, you know, much better. Another thing that I lacked in the earlier years of my career was networking. I was really shy. I was really afraid of hearing no, or, you know, being rejected, not in terms of application, but like, you know, when you go to someone and introduce yourself, and like I was very shy to do that. And I'm not an introvert, but I was still very shy to do it. And I wish I had networked with, you know, I had a lot of opportunities to do it. I just didn't follow up with those connections for the earlier years of my career. And then like these years, you know, when I kind of matured enough, now I do it. Like now it's a priority for me, but I wish I had started much earlier.
Especially for marketers, right? Especially if you're building.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, you never know where that connection also leads you to. So invest in your connections. I think that's, you know, that's something that applies to all careers, not just marketing, but it's specifically important for marketing because we are just generally more digitally active, I feel. So it's good to keep that connection. You know, do the follow-up email, do the thank you emails, and introduce yourself, do outreach emails. And these always like end up being a practice for you as well. Because eventually, if you do get involved with content at all, you're going to use all of that, like, you know, the way you write the emails, the way you do your outreach, you know, messages and stuff like that. That all comes down to, you know, that helps you in your marketing growth, I think.
You mentioned about being present in social media. I agree with this. Like, you have to have your personal.
I don't think you have to. So I also thought about this when I was hiring for my teams as well. Like when I think we can't make people use social media if they are really like prioritizing their privacy. They don't feel secure about it. Like we can't expect that from people. But like at least you can use LinkedIn still. Like not all of the social media platforms are like Instagram. Like it doesn't have to be about your daily life, or it doesn't have to be where you kind of try to build an influence. So you can still use LinkedIn. You can still use Twitter. I don't know. Like the criteria that I have there is like if someone is, for example, applying for a social media marketer type of job, I would expect that person to have experience with social media. And it doesn't mean that they have to have their own personal account. Maybe they have managed, you know,
At least some,
so that's
like something to show.
Like that's also a very good experience to have. But I would still expect to see some experience. Like if someone, and this did happen to me like in the past, I did interview someone for a social media marketer role, and that person ended up not knowing what a hashtag was, or you know how you tag people. Like it, you know, sometimes you don't even have to be active on the platform, but you still, if you are curious, then you can still learn. Like you can still.
And you have to be curious.
And you have to.
You should be curious. Come on.
We are usually the people that have a lot of questions, and you know, always try to figure out answers to our questions.
Yeah.
Like we need to experiment with the strategies. So I mean, yeah, curiosity definitely, it has to be a must. But again, like going back to the initial point, I don't think we can force people to have it. I don't feel that's right to do that, but so I would love to see experience with social media if you know, that's a quality that I'm looking for in the person.
So this is about it. Thank you for watching the video. I hope it was somewhat helpful about starting a career in marketing. But if you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to leave in the comments section, and so in upcoming weeks we can answer them in more details. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, so stay tuned about the next videos. We'll be talking about education, universities, entrepreneurship and self-development. So stay tuned and see you guys later.